Any liberal that continues to reference January 6th, you guys are the biggest piece of shit that exists in society. Witnessing what is happening in downtown LA this past weekend is the most disgusting, vile exposure that we already knew about you liberals, but you continue to show how disgusting and hateful you really are. So you pieces of shit liberals constantly bring up J6, claiming that a police officer was claiming this insurrection and how people should stay prosecuted for this murder of a police officer. But now you don't care that there are hundreds of law enforcement in the street trying to calm your
anti-ICE agitators taking to the streets of Los Angeles for a fourth straight night as Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth deploys 700 Marines to protect federal buildings. Last night, looters were seen ransacking an Apple store.
I wanted to let the city know that I have declared a local emergency.
Yes, I just enjoy the fact that people are understanding what these people are doing. I have seen blame games. Gavin Newsom coming out to say, oh, Trump administrations did this intentionally. And they went further to sue the Trump administration struggle to block what is going on. Everything was rejected. Now, LA Mayor Karen Bass imposes quiffle on downtown over increased vandalism looting from. Okay. Initially, these people were silent. They didn't want to say anything. They instead went on social media to blame Trump. Trump is doing good to your city. So trying to play the game is something I don't get it. It is important. I show you the complete video. I believe you saw the lady at the beginning of this clip. If you love what I'm doing here, subscribe, share the video, and if possible, check if your notification is on.
Any liberal that continues to reference January 6th, you guys are the biggest piece that exists in society. Witnessing what is happening in downtown LA this past weekend is the most disgusting, vile exposure that we already knew about you liberals, but you continue to show how disgusting and hateful you really are. So you pieces of liberals constantly bring up J6, claiming that a police officer was claiming this insurrection and how people should stay prosecuted for this of a police officer. But now you don't care that there are hundreds of law enforcement in the street trying to calm your rowdy dumbass down, and you guys are pepper spraying them. You are throwing glass bottles at them. You are attempting to assault them. So first you call for the respect of law enforcement because it wasn't displayed on January 6th, but now you are calling for the harm of law enforcement that are enforcing the law. And then you're going on the internet claiming that children are being pulled from their graduation ceremony. They're being yanked out of elementary schools. But when the millions of people that were illegally crossing the border under Biden, you somehow stayed quiet when government officials were coming out talking about or the famous grape trees, where government officials are openly discussing that the bodies of unwilling women, undergarments clinging to branches on a tree just a few feet from the lawless US-Mexico border, dozens of pairs of underwear thrown there by grapes. These are called grape trees. Each pair is a trophy from a woman that was smuggled into the United States, victims that were heard screaming in the desert. They are graped, even legal humans, then forced into silence. These trees are a warning. Ranchers coming out and talking about it, the grape trees. Governor Abbott was even advocating towards it. He put up billboards to highlight the dangerous and legal consequences migrants will face as they attempt to enter illegally into the country, as countless women and children are essayed by coyotes. You're crying and claiming that kids are being pulled from school, but yet you stayed silent. Completely silent when over 300,000 children have gone missing. And government officials, ranchers that live next to the border are openly coming out and saying women and children are their undergarments are being displayed as a trophy. But yet you have zero problems with that. And you call for burning down cars, freeway, throwing rocks at cars that are driving by. And destroying the American because you are not happy with President Trump while waving a country that you refuse to go live in, waving their flag in the United States. And no, this isn't made up rage from the Trump supporters like you guys always claim to be. Your own mayor, Karen Bass, woke liberal Democrat, is even agreeing.
It's not peaceful what was happening. It's not peaceful for people to be on the highways. It's not peaceful for people to throw rocks or bottles. That's not peaceful. I don't think there's any equivocating on nonviolence. And if you are going to entertain over a freeway, then you are going to suffer the consequences of doing that. I don't think that LAPD, the sheriff, and certainly not myself, are not shying away from statements like that.
And though Karen Bass is a piece of herself, but even she can't go on camera and lie and claim that these are peace. More and more people are waking up to your disgusting demonic ways, liberal.
Yes, when you take a look at what Gavin Newsom sent out on social media, California will keep fighting on behalf of all our people, including in the court. If some of us can be snatched off the street without a warrant based on only suspicion or skin color, then none of us are safe. Authoritarian regimes begin by targeting people who are least able to defend themselves, but they do not stop there. Trump and his loyalists strive on division because it allows them to take more power and exert even more control. Okay, you see what Gavin Newsom is struggling to do here now, trying to turn around what we already know, why they decided to import a lot of people. Gavin Newsom play here like, oh, in suspicion or skin color. So Trump is removing people based on their skin color. That is what Gavin Newsom is saying. At the same time, the race card coming in, you can see the mafia. This guy actually is a liar. That is just the truth.
He has no reason to manufacture a crisis or to be panicking. He's sailing higher than ever at the moment. So he has zero reason to create drama. And here's further evidence of that, including on immigration. Here's Harry Anton, Stop 15.
You know, if we just take a look at the baseline numbers here, this is Trump's net approval rating on immigration. It's gone up like a rocket. Compare now versus 8 years ago during Trump's first term. Look at this. In his first term, Trump was way underwater at minus 21 points. But look at this. He's up over 20 points. Now, in the aggregate, he is in positive territory at plus 1 point on his net approval rating. Some other polls even have it a little bit higher than that. There is no issue on which Trump is doing so much better than he was in his first term, more than the issue of immigration. No wonder the Times has written it up the way that he is. Trump is begging for a fight on this because he knows what he's doing so far is working with the American electorate.
So are they playing right into his hands, Miranda?
It just does seem like that. You know, there are polls showing that 75% of Americans want these illegal alien criminals to be deported. And I would say after the last couple of days watching the arson and the riots and the looting in LA, that number will be up to 100%. So, look, it's sort of baffling why the Democrats keep doing this to themselves, because the last 4 years of Joe Biden just flinging open the border and allowing millions of people over, including a whole lot of unvetted, unknown terrorists or criminals, allowing the cartels to take charge of the border, was absolutely toxic.
Yes, the other day, Trump came with a receipt. Gavin Newsom replied to Trump interview when Trump mentioned, like, I called Gavin Newsom. We spoke for about 16 minutes. Gavin Newsom rejected that he did not talk with the president, call him a liar. Trump came with a receipt and posted the call logs so people can see. So you will understand exactly how these people can lie. Gavin Newsom claimed like there was nothing like that. But Trump just posted, is it not you? Is it not your number? Though it was hidden at a certain point. So you will see exactly what is happening here. These people are insane and evil. Yes, if Gavin Newsom accepted with others to cooperate with the Trump administration to combat this, we would not see situations like this. We would not see this happening. They rejected. It was like a place to hide. People living in different states, to hide under their canopy. Now, Trump took it upon himself to do this. They are playing politics everywhere on social media. It is crazy that people are not seeing it. If you are still sleeping, thinking these people actually like you, that is a lie. Yes. They understand the strategy. They want the people because it increased their base. That is simple.
She's still just as
happens to be former.
As she starts a new career in filmmaking. Take a look.
You're trying to distinguish yourself.
I want to appreciate people that are supporting me on this platform. I'm grateful. If you notice, sometimes I usually add videos at the end of my clips. That is for the YouTube algorithm. They refuse to recommend videos sometimes, so it's necessary.
who effing who.
People line up for my advice, and you're walking away like I'm stupid. It's like I've written books, I've given speeches.
Why don't we choose more carefully who we're going to lionize? Not just us, but like the Harvards and the MITs of the world. Look,
There are just many natural reasons why marriage, infertility, trying to have kids makes things difficult. It's like I try to tell couples, of course it's hard. Just listen to what I said.
there's something wrong with this person. Like, she's seriously depressed here, and actually found a way to bitch and moan about how hard it is to live in the White House.
What did you make of Donald Trump's post this morning alleging that since I said I hate Taylor Swift, she's no longer hot?
Justice will prevail.
It also shouldn't be racial.
Require Carmelo to run. He had
100.
Has been overwhelming. The lies in their amplification.
This is not going to end. Right is right and wrong is wrong. All good.
If you see any clips after this, that is just for the YouTube algorithm.
What if he says self-defense?
There's no self-defense because kids in here and resolve this issue is called conflict resolution.
Again, the evidence is still coming in.
This is definitely a self-defense case because it always is one until you look at the facts of the case and compare the two. You have to compare who was the initial aggressor.
Bedroom, because she's fearful of what might happen to her.
Followers for anything. And then the
Registration Act is
talking about this man, Killmonger.
My summary of the first 100 days is that
if film and TV productions continue to
first term, and you will be very...
Once again, the field was littered with Wintour does every year. This Carmelo Anthony case.
Live in the White House. Many people
like little unhinged drunk.
And black people don't want to live around.
From an employee, and they had a brother.
Well, there's lots of crazy.